Yes, are you all there? Good morning. Is everyone there? Yes? Good morning, everyone. Say hello, then at least I know. Yeah? Yeah, good morning. All of you are there? Very good, very good. Shall I start? I need to do simplex method today. Good morning. Anjali, Shilpi, Nagma, Yashaswini, all good morning. Yeah? Shall we begin? Ravi, yes, Ravi. Yes. Everybody is ready? Shall we start? How is everyone today? Bangalore has been drenched with beautiful rains, isn't it? Yeah. Happy morning, happiest of morning to you. Where is Prashant? Devika, Yashaswini. Yeah. All with a big smile. We'll start with a big smile. Yes? Shall we wait for 1 minute till everybody comes? Spandana, good morning. Yeah. Pavan, sweet morning to you too. Yes. Ready? Divya, good morning. All of you, good morning, good morning. Bangalore has been drenched with rains. I hope you are enjoying the rains. Yeah? I hope you are enjoying the rains, all of you. Yes. Sometimes it gets more warmer after the rains. Happiest morning. Yes, it is your signature greeting, isn't it, Prashant? Good morning. Yeah. Shall we start? See, today I want to start simplex method. Okay? I have done graphic method, and in the graphic method I've taught you um, the once again in the graphic method I have taught you once again I've taught you the graphic maximization problem. I've not taught you minimization. We will leave it now. Actually, minimization is not necessary. It's not in the syllabus, but I'll teach you one or two. But we will do it later. I want to start the simplex method so that as we go and we need to take a break from simplex method, then we have the sorry about that. Then we have the um minimization method left to do. Okay, so we will start. Ready? I'll first give you a problem, and with that problem, we will work out. All right? Okay. Ready? The problem is like this: maximize maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2 subject to the following constraints. There are two constraints: 10x1 plus 20x2 lesser than or equal to 120. The second is 8x1 plus 8x2 lesser than or equal to 80. Okay. Now x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. If you cannot see this thing, no, wait, we'll just clear the camera. If you cannot see it clearly, please phone me. Now I have kept on my laptop the worked out problem on this MacBook only, so I'm not able to see your comments. Just phone me if you need. My phone is here only. If you need to tell me, ma'am, I cannot hear you, or it's not, this paper is not clear. Just phone me, please. I repeat, the problem is like this. Maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2 subject to the constraints 10x1 plus 20x2 lesser than or equal to 120, 8x1 plus 8x2 lesser than or equal to 80, x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. Everybody got it? Now look at your problem. Okay, I'm explaining with this problem. Look at this. This is the objective function, correct? All right. 12 and x1 plus 16 and x2. x1 and x2, see, I'll explain to you not in mathematical terms, in terms that commerce students and MBA students can understand. x1 and x2, we will call them as basic variables. All right. All the x1s and x2, we will call them as basic variables. Okay, x1, x2 are basic variables. Now it is 12x1, isn't it? Here it is 12x1, right? This 12, I'll call it as the coefficient of the basic variable. All right, I will denote it as C. And x1, x2 basic variable, I'll denote it as B. B to the base I, B to the base J, something that you don't worry. We'll just denote it as B. x1, x2, we will call them as B, and 12, 6 and 16 are the coefficients of the basic variable. We will call them as C. See, I'm explaining in terms which MBA can understand. All right. This is the first thing you remember. Secondly, if you remember, if you see, there are two constraints. Remember, there are two constraints. Now, to work out a simplex problem, we first have to standardize the problem. The problem is given to you. We have to standardize it. How are you going to standardize it? For standardizing it, we have to introduce something called slack variables. SLACK. Slack variables. Okay, we have to introduce slack variables. Slack variables are called as S1, S2, etc. Now you can introduce S1, S2, S3, how many you want. How many slack variables you introduce depends on the number of constraints in the problem. Now in this problem we have, forget the non-negativity restriction, we have two constraints, that is 10x1 plus 20x2 lesser than or equal to 120, 8x1 plus 8x2 lesser than or equal to 80. So these are the two constraints, x1 and x2 this is lesser than, x1 and x2 greater than or equal to 0 is the non-negativity restriction. Alright, non-negativity restriction. Thanks, Prashant. Um, I think I was not holding it up for sufficient amount of time. That was the problem. Yeah. Okay. Now we have to introduce slack variables, which makes it standardized. Okay. What's my problem? Where is it now? Ah, yeah. Here it is. Now you look at this problem now. The slack variables have to be introduced into each and every equation here. In the Z1 we will introduce it. Now you see x1, when number 12 is introduced in x1, it becomes 12x1. Alright. If I introduce just as s1 slack variable, if I introduce it as s1, it will become 1s1. If I just put plus s2, it becomes 1s2. In the original, that is the objective function, when you introduce a slack variable, you introduce it as 0s1 and 0s2. Alright, so we'll go step by step. The first step I'm doing is I'm standardizing. Now write down solution standardized form. Write down solution standardized form. Alright, standardized form. So how you have to do is maximize max z is equal to, write down with me, 12x1, what was already there, plus 16x2. Now as I told you, there are two constraints. So for two constraints I have to introduce two slack variables. If I just put s1, I'll give s1 and s2 as the slack variables. If I put s1, it becomes 1s1, and s2, it becomes 1s2. In the objective function, we put it as plus 0s1 plus 0s2. 1 minute, you see this. This is the introduction of the slack variable in the objective function. Now we will do subject to and do the others. Why am I suddenly sweating? Hold on, sorry class. Okay, so we have introduced the slack variables on the objective function. Once more I'm telling you, I have introduced two slack variables in the objective function, that is s1 and s2. Since if I put s1 straight away, it becomes 1s1 and 1s2. No, I have to introduce it as 0, that is not O, that is 0s1 and 0s2. Alright, now we will introduce the slack variables in the constraints. So write down subject to, write the first one, 10x1 plus 20x2 Now what do you have to do is S1 and S2 you have to introduce. S1 you put it as S1 only, so that the coefficient of S1 will become 1, and for S2 we'll make it 0. Jnaneshwari, very good morning ma. Yeah, okay. So 10x1 plus 20x2 plus S1 plus 0s2 is equal to 120. Now inequality became equality, and I have done it like this. 10x1 plus 20x2 plus S1. I have given the coefficient for S1 as 1. That's why it is S1, 1s1. And for S2, I have given it as 0. And inequality, I have made it an equality, is equal to 120. Yeah? Manjunath, good morning ma. Now we go to the next one. We do it, write down x1, you will have guessed already, 8x1 plus 8x2 plus, now S1 gets 0 coefficient, so 0 S1 plus S2, that means S2 has coefficient of 1 is equal to 80, isn't it, is equal to 80. 8x1 plus 8x2 plus 0s1 plus s2 is equal to 80. Now for the non-negativity restriction, you have to put x1 greater than or equal to 0, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Also s1 and s2 greater than or equal to 0. So we can straight away put it as x1 comma x2 comma s1 comma s2 greater than or equal to 0. So this completes the standardized equation. Please see, I'll repeat what I did. I standardized the whole problem by introducing two slack variables S1 and S2. Why two slack variables? Because there were two constraints. Alright. Now the first one, I have objective function I have done like this: 12x1 plus 16x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. In the objective function, you give the coefficients as 0. See, why this, why that and all, I will tell you later. If I tell you both why and the method, either you will remember the method or you will remember the other one. Reasoning. You forget the reasoning, you just do the method first. Okay, all your questions as to why this, why that is not today. I will field your questions in the next class. Today, don't distract and saying why 0 ma'am, why 1 ma'am. All these questions I will not tolerate today. Please do not ask me now, because my intention is to teach everybody. Some of you are fast, some of you are not so fast. So everyone has to learn. Given this, no, I'm telling you, please don't ask, just learn the method today, and all your questions I will faithfully answer in my next class. It's a long problem, so learn the method. I will explain again. I standardized the LPP by introducing slack variables. I introduced two variables because there are two constraints. Yeah, there are two constraints. So in each of the three equations, that is equations of the two constraints and the objective equation, I had to introduce the slack variables. In the objective function, the coefficients I gave 0, so it becomes 0s1 plus 0s2. subject to 10x1 plus 20x2, which was the equation, plus S1, I have given a coefficient of 1, S2, I have given a coefficient of 0. Inequality, I have made it a equality 120. Similarly, 8x1 plus 8x2 plus here S1 I have given 0, S2 I have given 1 as the coefficient. Alright, shall we go ahead? Now comes Lavanya, good morning. Now you have to learn to do the table. It is called initial simplex table. Write down initial simplex table. Alright. Now you start like this. The first column, you leave place for 2 columns and start on the third column. 2 columns you leave blank. You need to do 2 columns, but not now. Wait. So you, as if you are starting the third column, leaving 2 spaces, you start 2 rows. All right. Leave 2 columns, and the heading of the third row is CJ. C to the base J. Leave the first 2 places blank and write CJ. Now, draw that as a column. Alright. Now make CJ a row. Till the end. Alright. Now in the next row you write as basic variable. Basic variable. Write the next row as basic variable. I'll write here again. CJ and write next line as basic variable. Alright. Now class, C means coefficient. For us, you just take it as coefficient. Now here I have to write the coefficients of the objective function. Look at this standardized form. Coefficient of the first one is 12, of x1 is 12, next one is 16, next one is 0, and the last one is 0. So first, in the second row, I will write like this. x1, ruler column, x2, 1 minute, ruler column, I'll show you. S1, ruler column, S2, ruler column. Fill the basic variables as x1, x2, s3, s1, s2. All clear? I'll show you 1 minute. Write down Cj and x basic variable x1, x2, s1, s2. Now look at this. For x1, the coefficient was 16. I will fill in the column above. For x1, fill in the above column. x1 was 16x1. So here you have 16. How much was x2? Sorry, 12. 12, no. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. 12x1. Sorry, guys. 12x1. So what do I fill in x2? 16, s1, 0 and 0. Alright? what I did is, I'll explain. I told you to leave here place for 2 columns. Let it be. Imagine Cj here is the third column, and what I did is next row Cj is the first row as well. Second row is called basic variable. So I have x1, x2, s1 and s2 as the basic variables in my standardized form. The coefficient C of that I've put here 12, 12x1, 16x2, 0s1 and 0s2. All understood? Shall I proceed? Everyone, shall I proceed? Okay. All ready? Now, give me a thumbs up so that I can proceed. My one, good morning. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up so I can proceed, everybody. One thumbs up is enough. Yes, Shilpi? Yeah, ma, Pavan. Yeah, I'll proceed. All clear, no? Very good. Follow it carefully. Okay? Now, I have written here basic variable, isn't it? This is basic variable I have written. Under that, I will write S1, S2. The slack variables, you write S1 and S2. Make it rows. Make rows for that. Make rows for S1, S2. Now, I am coming to the first column. Not to one column was enough, never mind. I am ruling a line like this to make the first column here. And there I will put CB, CBI. And I am going to write there, for the objective function, we had 0s1 and 0s2, correct? So those coefficients you write there. Okay, so what I did is, the next step I put CB here, coefficients of the basic variable. This is what you think in mind. I don't know what they say, but for MBAs, this is how I teach. And put S1 and S2, the slack variables here. Why am I putting slack variables? See, slack variables are not variables. We have to find which is the departing variable, so that we remove the slack variables and get the answer for x1 and x2. I am repeating. See, slack variables we have introduced, we have to remove them. So we have to call them the departing variables. We are trying to find out here which are the departing variables in order to do more iterations. I'll tell you how to get the optimality solution, optimal solution. If we get an optimal solution in this table, we stop here. If we do not, then we have to do again and again. Sometimes a problem goes up to 4 iterations. Alright, this is the first initial simplex table, is the first iteration. Iteration means repeat. ITERATION. So we keep on doing iterations till we get the answer. What is the answer? What is the determination of this optimal solution? I'll tell you in a while. Let's not jump. Alright. So far it is all clear. So I want to remove this S1 and S2. S1 and S2 I want to remove because I introduced them, no? I must remove. So this is my table now. I hope you all got the same thing. Okay. Now you will have guessed what I am going to put. Now suppose the cell is S1X1. What am I going to put? I am going to add there in the S1 row, I am going to add the coefficients of the first constraint. The first constraint, class, check. The first constraint was 10x1 plus 20x2 plus 1s1 plus 0s2. Look at this one, the first constraint, 10x1 plus 20x2 plus 1s1 plus 0s2. So the coefficients will be 10, 20, 1 and 0. I repeat, I am going to fill the row S1 with the coefficients of the first constraint. The coefficients of the first constraint are 10 for x1, 20 for x2, 1 for s1 and 0 for s2. Clear? Now you fill it there. In the S1 row, I am writing 10, 20, 1 and 0. Everyone understood? Now you will have guessed what I am going to do in the S2. Yes? S2, I will write the coefficients of the second constraint. That is, I'll write 8 because it is 8x1. Then again 8, 8x2. Then for S1, I gave 0. So it is 0. And for the next one, it is 1. So this is what you get. Now you will be wondering, what do I have to do in the last one? Okay, in the last one, last two columns, I will write solution. See, I'm ruling one more column there. In the last whatever space is there, I'm ruling one more column. Make the last column little broad. I have ruled one more column. In the very first column, you write solution. See, I've written it lengthwise. You can write it how you want. I've written solution. Next time when we make a column, we are not going to make the entire thing as a row. Solution need not have two rows, one row. Alright? Solution. And next one, you write ratio. Next time when we rule, we are not going to make it two rows, only one row. Okay? So the last two columns are called solution and ratio. So you will have guessed now, in solution column we will give is equal to the first S1 row. S1 row, what was we did for the first constraint. So the first constraint was so much is equal to 120. So I am writing in solution 120, and the next row I am putting 80. So I have represented so far the entire equations. First, I have represented the objective function with the coefficients, and then I have represented the two constraints. Alright? Now, next class, two more rows I require. I'll slice off this thing. This problem, for the table you need 2 more rows. So I sliced off here. See the last line I drew, this line I drew. The table is over. Okay. Now under S2, you write Z to the base J. I'll tell you what is Z. Z to the base J. Now I am filling the place ZJ place under X1. Okay. Difficult for me to show. See, X1 come down. I am filling ZJ. Okay. ZJ, X1 column ZJ. Here what you have to do is take, wait, I'll try this 0 into this one 10 plus this 0 into 8. Understand? This 0 into 10 plus this 0 into 8. Now you write somewhere down there. I'll tell you what to write. You write Zj of X1 is equal to Zj of X1 is equal to 0 into 10. You understood, no? CBI is the, no, that 0 into X1, right? 0 into 10 plus the next line, S2 line, 0 into 8 is equal to 0. All understood? So in the Zj column, I am putting 0. You will have guessed that everything will come 0 because the coefficients of S1 and S2 are 0. So all the Zj will be 0, but you have to work it out. So all understood? 0 into 10, 0 into 10 plus, where is 10? Yeah, plus 0 into 8. What will the next be? 0 into 20 plus 0 into 8. The next one will be 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0. And the next one will be 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1. So we will write now Zj of X2. Zj of X2 will be 0 into 20 plus 0 into 8 is equal to 0. Okay. Now we will do of S1. Zj of S1 will be 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0. Now we'll go into S2. S2. Zj of S2 will be 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1. is equal to 0. Please see, I'll hold it up for a while. All right. So I'm going to put here 0, 0, 0. Done? Everybody is clear till here, isn't it? I'll go ahead. Now, you have to make something called delta ij. Just put delta. We'll see later. Okay? The next row will be delta. Delta is Cj. Cj is on top. Cj minus Zj. Here, the first one, this row. The first row minus this row. So since all are zeros, it will be 12 minus 0. 12 minus 0 is equal to 12. 16 minus 0 is equal to 16. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. You write, I will show you. Delta ij it is, but you just put delta is equal to Cj minus Zj. You write somewhere. Write down there, otherwise you'll forget. So, for delta for x1 is equal to 12 minus 0 is equal to 12. Understood? So, delta for x2 is equal to, 16 minus 0 is equal to 16. Now we come to delta for S1. 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. And then we come for S2. Delta for S2 is equal to 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. Okay? Now I'll fill that delta column. Okay? 0, 0, 0, 0. Alright? Once again, class. Now, to find out whether we have, see actually this is the whole table. We can stop here if the optimal solution is reached. How do we determine the optimal solution? This delta must have a negative value. It should not be 0, shouldn't be positive. Here, for us, all the delta is 0. The solution is not optimal. Alright? The solution is not optimal. Therefore, we have to work out more. How do we work out more? I told you, we have to depart one by one, S1, S2, etc. So which one shall we depart? You have to see. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, class. I'm sorry. I told you something and wrote something. Sorry. 12. Once again. Yeah. 12 minus 0 is 12. Sorry, I copied it wrong. 12 minus C. This is the way you do delta. Yeah. This is the way we calculated delta. 12 minus 0. See again properly. If you want to take screenshot. So when I copied it here, I wrote 0, 0. I'm sorry. So this is your final table. Now look at delta. Thanks, Prashant. Look at delta. Delta values are 12, 16, 0, 0. If optimal situation is reached, we should get at least one negative value in the delta. We have got 0 and positive values, so the optimal solution has not been reached. What do we do now? Alright, we have to, as I told you, we have to send somebody packing. So we have to find one key row and a key column. First, we will see the key column. Look at delta, which is the highest value, 12, 16, 0, 0. The highest value of, yes, thanks Nina. Now correct, yes Rashi. Sorry, I did correctly but copied it wrong. Yeah, you should see the mess here. So many small bits of paper to copy. Alright. Okay. So, keeping it in order. Okay, here, what we have to do is identify one key row and a key column. Now look at this. Look at delta values. You have 12, 16, etc. So 16 is the highest value. So that one becomes the key row. What I do is I will just put an arrow next to 16 to say that that is the key row, key column, sorry. So we identify this row by the name of x1, x2, etc. So we say x2 here is the key column. Please write x2 is the key column. All right. Which do you think is the key row? Which do you think is the key row? You look at all the coefficients. 20 is the largest number, isn't it? 20 is the largest number. So S1 row is the key row. All right. So make a arrow like that and call it the key row. Now we have, see this properly. I repeat, we need to find out which is the departing variable, x1, x2, s1 or s2. So what we do is identify a key. Yes, I know, ratio I have not calculated. I identify one key row and a key column. The highest value in delta is 16. Sorry class, I made a mistake. You have to see the highest values in the coefficients. The highest coefficient is 20, isn't it? So 20 becomes x2. x2 becomes, the x2 column becomes the key column. I repeat, 20. So x2 column becomes the key column. Similarly, S1 becomes the key row. We also call S1 as the departing row. Okay? Or S1 becomes the departing variable. Right there. S1 becomes the departing variable. Okay, now we calculate the ratio. 120 is there, no? The solution column 120. You divide by the number in the key row. 120 divided by 20. And 80 will be divided by 8. Do you understand? 120 will be divided by 20, which is x2. If you know, like you can make some marks like that, If I do a mark here, it will become messy for you to understand. So you can make a round like that, circle the whole column lengthwise and circle the whole row lengthwise. Alright? And to identify 20, you can put one double circle or something. Whatever you can understand, you do. Alright? Yes, S1. So, now in the ratio you do 120 divided by 20 is equal to 6, and 80 divided by 8 is equal to 10. Okay? Now, once again, I have to get my, okay. So everybody is clear with these things. S1 is the key row and X2 is the key column. S1 is the departing or outgoing or the leaving variable. And X2 we call it as, see, S1 is the slack variable, we want to remove the slack variables. So S1 and S2 we call them, whichever we select, as the outgoing or the departing variable, whereas X1 and X2 we call them as, yeah, incoming variable. Now 20, look at 20, number 20. Number 20 was found in the intersecting of key row and key element, sorry, key row and key column. So Mr. 20 becomes our key element. You know, in game I used to put the circle and the square, right? So the intersecting variable of the key row and the key column becomes our key element. All right. Now we have to rule again. See, I cannot complete the problem today and I don't want to rush you either. We will start the second table, but I will leave it half. Okay? So I will leave it half. Now actually the first one is called initial basic solution table. Now we start the iterations. So you call this as iteration 1. Alright? ITERATION 1. Call it as iteration 1. I'll write it. What is our aim? Our aim is to get one delta value as negative. Alright? Now I'll give you an idea. Rule rule 2 rows into 1 row. Imagine, just rule a row where you can make it into 2. Now the first column you rule straight away. First column you rule straight away and call it CB. What did I call it? CBI. I think it is CBJ. You just put CB, man. This I and J is for maths people. You just put CB. Alright? Next, you have to see the last two solution and ratio columns. You want it without row. So wait, I'll show you. Rule for the last two columns like this. Now, the remaining we have to divide. The first one column you write, that is the second column. Actually, second column, you wait. See how I did. I ruled here and I ruled here. So here I can write same thing, Cj and basic variable. C is for coefficient, basic variables is for x1, x2, x3, x1, x2, s1, s2. Alright, so now I'm ruling into 4 parts. And I'm putting here x1 like last time only. Once again, the coefficients of the objective function don't change. So you have here 12, 16, 0, 0. Fill this first. I'll hold it out for you to see. Wait. Ready? So right here, the last one is solution, and the next one is ratio. Now, in the previous table, I had done S1 and S2, and we agreed that S1 is the leaving variable. Alright? So here, instead of, where was 20? Okay. 20, now key element 20. See now class, what I did here is, I showed you S1 and S2, isn't it? This is the first one, initial solution. In this, what happened is, S1 was the leaving variable. Where did we get the key element? In 20, isn't it? Key element was found, was 20, and it was found as in x2 column. So in this table, I will not put S1, I will put x2. Why? Key element is found in x2 column. So here in Cj basic variable, I will put, 1 minute, I'll show you. S2, no? See, in the previous one, I had done S1 and S2. Now S1 is the departing variable. We removed it. So which one we will put? We will put the column where there was the key element. So I'll put here as X2. Okay. So for X2, I have to fill here. I have to fill CB. I have to fill the CB column first. What is x2 coefficient in the, what is the coefficient of x2 in the objective function? Here Cj 16. So in CB column against x2 I put 16, and S2 naturally it is 0. Alright. Now comes the fun. You have to change the values in the rows. If I teach you now, whatever I have taught you will go to the Himalayas. And I don't have time. I have just 10 minutes. Okay? Even if I request someone else's class and do the whole problem, by the time you come to second iteration, first iteration will fly. So, what I want to do is I want to stop class here and we will continue the same problem in my next class. I'm sure that you have understood extremely well the first initial basic solution. Do it again, understand it and keep it. In my next class, I will explain how to. Now comes the little complications in the simplex. Now the simplex becomes a little complex. Okay, so now that complications I'll teach you in the next class. All right. So much. I've kept my papers. I'll this thing when I come back on. I think I'm coming on Tuesday. I want all of you to be prepared once again. Read up all this. All right. Read up all this whatever I taught you and be ready. Okay, keep this clear in your mind how to work out delta, what is zj, what is cj, all this you look and be ready. All right, then I'll continue the problem. Otherwise simplex will become complex. All right, you have a class again now, isn't it, at 11 or 11:15. Okay, take a break, look at it again and again, and we'll work out in the next class. Yeah, because once you get confused, simplex really is not simple. If you don't get confused, simplex is remove this x and it is simple. That is what I want you to get it. That simplex is not x. It's just a simple method. Alright? That's my aim. So we'll go it step by step. Even if you were in the class, I would have taught you only so much and said we'll do next class. Because with experience, I'm telling you, when I've done the whole problem, the whole thing went out of the window. So let it be. Yeah? You understood this extremely well, I'm sure. Let it be. Yeah? Yeah. You too stay safe, man. Okay? God bless all of you. Have a nice weekend. Tomorrow is a Sunday. And your next class is on Tuesday. Stay geared up. I'll come sharp 9:30 or 9:35 and not more than that. My worry is you all are not there. Why, you must be asking me, ma'am, why you're coming at 9:40? My worry is I start a problem and then some of you come in and say, ma'am, I missed the problem, and you'll not understand the whole class. That's why I'm coming a little late. I don't know what to do. I'll come at 9:30 sharp. Remember, you need. It's like after you finish my class again. But what I teach you during the class, what communicate with me is also very important, isn't it? So Tuesday, be there at 9:30. I will continue the class. All right. Take care, all of you. Smile once again. Yes, I'm leaving you 10 minutes early, but enough today. Right? God bless all of you. Yeah? Next time I'll sing a song for you. Okay? Or today only. When you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. 1, 2. When you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. 1, 2. When you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. When you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. 1, 2. Next it goes, when you're happy and you know it, snap your fingers, stamp your feet. I would say pull your ears or blink your eyes. We can do many, many things, okay? But basically, when you're happy and you know it, do something, all right? Or be happy, stay safe. I have spoken to different people for guest lectures on different topics. And next week you should too much don't want to. This week we have had good this thing. Next week I'll organize. All right. Most probably I'll organize on days when seniors have class. All right. So that's because seniors have gone through sufficient portion. There's hardly anything left. I would like to do industrial visit type of guest lecture or actual visit also. Yeah, if the Mandya boys oblige me, Next week we are going to Mandya to see how they make jaggery and sugar. All right, not necessary big factory. Small time is enough. Bye, guys. Take care. Love you all. Yeah. Jai Hind. Jai Karnataka.